I came to Livewell after the birth of my second child. My thyroid started acting up. During the winter months, started to feel as though I had fibromyalgia. I was just really achy. I thought maybe it was just a bad flu, but it was starting to affect my livelihood and my motivation for everything. Yep, I could go to the doctor and I could get a prescription and this symptom would be taken care of. But I also believe that other symptoms come up from the nutrient deficiencies that are caused by the prescription drugs as well. Because I did not want to be on a medication for the rest of my life. I thought at 36 years old, I was way too young for that. So now I feel much healthier. My family's healthier. My husband's kind of coming along in this process as well and putting his health in his own hands as well.
I had seen multiple specialists for a condition I've had since I was 13 called endometriosis, and I've had every treatment that there really is. And we were basically faced with the choice of IVF if we felt like we wanted to get pregnant. We were told that that would be the only way, or a hysterectomy. I was not willing to accept either one of those options, and I figured that there had to be some other way. But I know that the changes that we've made here, finding out what foods work with my body and what doesn't, and what the root of my symptoms really were, and starting on the road of actually healing those and not just treating those, has caused my body to begin to heal and to be able to be well enough to conceive. And later I got pregnant. And we are expecting in October.
What I really love about Livewell is that they look at the root of your issues and they come up with, not just one solution, but they give you options for however you would like to treat your ailment. And I feel so much better. I can exercise again. I have my appetite back. Just basically quality of life is so much better after coming here for almost 2 years. And I wouldn't change a thing, honestly.
I think for anyone that's really kind of found natural health, or they've maybe read online different things, or they've maybe even started to research more functional medicine, and they start doing things on their own, but they're still not feeling quite right. For me, that was really what I experienced. I felt like I was doing everything. I was adding all these supplements in. I had an extremely clean diet. I was exercising well. I was trying to get enough sleep. I was doing what I thought was everything I needed to really live optimally. And I think after 3 years, I really realized that I needed more support. I needed help. I needed those diagnostic tools that they could give me here at Livewell, so I could discover what was really going on inside of me at a cellular level.
I've been seeing Dr. Zach for the last 2 years, and when I came in, I had been diagnosed with hypothyroidism for the last 14 years, and I had been seeing an endocrinologist for a few years before that, and I always wanted answers. Why? I didn't believe that I was broken, and I wanted to know if there was anything more I could do. And so when I came to Dr. Zach, I remember the first appointment that we had. I sat down with my husband and we sat down and talked to him, and I asked, can this be cured? And he said, yes. And that was a little overwhelming because that was my first sign of hope. Since then, we have had the results of amazing things. Just with the diet change alone, my face has cleared up of acne, even those acne spots you get on the back of your arms, that started to clear up. Digestive issues went away, more energy, a clear mind. It has just been amazing.
I have heart disease. I've had 2 heart attacks and I got 3 stents, and I have also a thyroid problem and Hashimoto's disease. And so with conventional medicine, they give you the same old thing. You get more stents and you might continue to have heart attacks. And so I think there's a better way that we found out. And I'm optimistic about myself getting off of blood pressure medications and statin drugs and things like that, and we've kind of headed in that direction.
I started noticing something wasn't right when I was 24, and I had some issues in which I went to some specialists, and they couldn't figure out what was the issue. It was all in my head. And fast forward 4 years later, I eventually had it. I had more issues, which was very odd since I was never sick as a child. But then in my 20s, it was just seemed to be one issue after another, and the doctors kept telling me that it wasn't related. It was all separate instances, and I was just a sick person, but nothing was related. I didn't believe that, not for a minute. I felt like something else was causing all the root of my issues.
I started coming here because my health was deteriorating probably over about a 10-year period, but about within the last year it started getting progressively worse. I started noticing a lot of inflammatory issues. I have a 5-year-old son, so that's problematic when I can't even tie my own shoes. I came here because I knew they would do a whole blood panel. I was deficient in a lot of vitamins. The blood work showed a lot of room for improvement. I started seeing a real turnaround in my health about week 3, where the inflammation was almost completely down. I'd lost 20 pounds without even trying. Within 4 months, I was able to go to Disney World with my husband and my 5-year-old and survive the 5 days of the park every day walking and had no problems. I would highly recommend the Livewell Clinic to anyone if you want to improve your health and get to the bottom of your issues rather than going the conventional route and just masking your symptoms and causing a lot of other issues.
And I just thought, this can't be it. There's something else going on. And sure enough, I was sick, but people couldn't see it from the outside. To know that there was so much more going on in my body than I knew. When that blood work came back, there was gut issues. There were adrenal fatigue. There was, I just knew that there was something more going on in my body than many people could see from the outside. And we have made a lot of progress, and it's been great.
Why did my thyroid start acting up? I wanted to find the why and to treat it in a different way to make it be healthy again and not just put medication on top of it. To me, it was a Band-Aid for something else, and that it would snowball into other things if I didn't get it handled. So I came to Livewell and had the tests done and learned a lot about lots of past medical issues and started taking the steps to a healthier life here and changed a lot of the way that I eat, the way that my family eats as well, and have found a lot more health through that.
One of the instances that brought me to this was my last appointment at the University of Iowa, where they couldn't pinpoint it. The doctor wouldn't take my phone calls because I knew he didn't know what was exactly going on. And I knew at that time I just had to take things into my own hands. I had to be my own advocate for my health. I had a friend who had similar issues as I did, and he chose the medical route. And he's not expected to live to see the age of 40. I, on the other hand, chose this route. I chose to empower myself and try to figure out what the issues were and do everything holistically, because in my opinion, it's the better route. And now, I look at him and he has a shortened lifespan, whereas I have all the ability to live a long, healthy, happy life.
What I initially thought was the problem was not necessarily what was at the root cause of the problem. But as we've worked together, we have found layer after layer after layer, and I'm getting better and better and better. I would highly recommend Livewell Clinic to someone who is searching for this type of care, because here Dr. Lori and Dr. Zach take the time to listen carefully to each one of your concerns. They talk to you about it. They take into consideration each one of these different areas of your body and look at all aspects to get to the point of health.
Like, I know that he's kind of identified, I suppose, what my biggest weakness is in my system, and now I try not to worry about the other things and just kind of focus on that. I would say the most important thing for me, again, is the fact that you get a lot of time to spend discussing your problems. The very first thing that we did when I got here was just spill the beans, so to speak, and talk about everything that was going on and everything that was happening. And I don't think that's something that you get a lot of other places. So.
And it was going to take more than just kind of my own guessing and checking and trying this and adding this and taking this out. I needed more answers on paper, and that's exactly what Dr. Zach and his team have been able to do for me. So I think it's also really important to know what supplements to take and to know which ones are really helping your bodies and our bodies and which ones really aren't helping. Because I know for me, I was on a lot of different supplements before coming in, and they were really good supplements, but they weren't quite the ones I needed. And I think until you really see on paper what your body is deficient in and what your body really needs, which systems need supported, it's really hard to know which ones are best for you. And that's been a really good thing for me here, is just getting the right things to be able to heal my body.
And the gluten is a pretty big deal. Our son kind of got us going away from gluten, and the reason it affects his body, and it also does mine. And so Pam has come up with some wonderful recipes. She's got the best cookie gluten-free recipe you can imagine, more than one, in fact.
It can be done. There's some good recipes. In fact, Dr. Zach's got some that I'm sure he would be glad to share with you. His blueberry muffins are a family favorite.
We got some in the fridge.
Yes, we do.
I had one this morning. They're really good, and they're pretty easy, aren't they, to make?
Oh yeah, they're easy.
The other day I had a question about protein powders and different blends and mixes with like amino acid profiles. Kind of a gym buff, so Dr. Lori was right on it. She sent me a message on the patient portal the next day, and she had some websites about different protein powders and really just a lot of information regarding that. Just anytime you have a question, they have a resource for you. You can read up more about it and educate yourself. They have access to videos and just articles, and if you can come up with it, they can get it to you.
Eventually, when I came to Dr. Zach and he started peeling back all these layers, I found out all of these issues were related. And as we started, it was 7 years of sickness, and eventually, as Dr. Zach told me, I wouldn't be cured overnight. It would take, obviously it had taken years and years of issues on top of one another, and so we'd have to peel. It's like an onion, you peel back the layers, and eventually you get one thing healed, and it will cause a ripple effect into the other issues that will soon come to the surface and then cure those.
Another thing that I really love about Livewell Clinic is just the family aspect and the community aspect that you feel when you walk through the door. When you come in, you've got the nurses and the staff and the doctors acknowledging you and asking you how you've been doing, and they remember what you've been struggling with and what you're overcoming and some of your joys. And it's really nice to be able to share that with everyone here and to feel like they really care about you. And I know often going to conventional doctors, you feel rushed. You feel like they're not maybe listening to you. And here you know that they're listening to you, and you can feel safe knowing that whatever they're doing with you and whatever they're giving you and however they're treating you is safe. It's going to help you. It's not going to harm you in any way, like maybe some of the treatments that conventional doctors would do with you, involving short-term fixes like the prescriptions that they write. So that's been really comforting to know that I've just found a safe place to heal.
It's just a matter of feeling better and being healthy and hopefully having a good long life. I want to see my grandkids graduate from high school and get married, and that's part of why I'm trying to stay healthy, not just for myself.